Welcome back to another video, my friend. I'm Blake, and you're you, and this is Gates Tribal in Explorer. We're getting ready to use three major cards like the Gatebreaker Ram, which is going to grow to be a giant creature with gate synergy to smash down our opponents, the Gate Colossus, which can sometimes be paid for no mana. That's right, it's an 8/8 that you sometimes get to play for free, as well as the Guild Summit, which draws us a card simply for playing lands. There is absolutely insane amounts of synergy in this deck. Do not sleep on this budget deck. Gates Tribal in Explorer, it's the real deal. Let's start taking a look at this deck list so that we can figure out what's going on before we jump into some games. So, right off the bat, let's take a look at these three combo cards that I mentioned so that we understand what's really going on in this list. First, the Gatebreaker Ram. It's a 3-mana 2/2, but it gets +1/+1 for every gate we control. We're running a lot of gates. As long as you control 2 or more gates, it gets Vigilance and Trample. That's going to happen all the time. We are running 24 gates in this list. 28 lands total. It's a very land-heavy deck for obvious reasons. We need it. And we're running mostly 4 green-red, 4 red-blue, and we're running the 4 forests and the 4 Simic Guildgate. So really, green, red, and blue is your base. That is the main colors we need. And then we're running splashes of black and white that we're getting into. So that is the way that this list is constructed. Now, also our other combo pieces is 3 Gate Colossus, which is a top end, but becomes a mid-range end because it costs 1 less for every gate you control. This is pretty easily and consistently a 3-mana or 4-mana play on turn 3 or 4 consistently. And sometimes when you draw it in the late game, you play it for 0 or 1, and it's absolutely insane. It's an 8/8, and it can't be blocked by small creatures that are power 2 or less. So it's really tough for our opponent to deal with. And then, if it's in the graveyard, even more, whenever a gate comes into play, we can put it on top of our library. So it's extremely hard for our opponents to deal with. And lastly, another extremely important card for the deck is the Guild Summit. This is a 3-mana enchantment, and whenever it enters the battlefield, you tap any number of untapped gates you control, draw a card for every gate you tap this way. We would probably play this card if it just said that. It turns all your extra mana from gates into just drawing cards, as long as you put 3 mana on top of it. And whenever a gate enters your battlefield under the control, draw a card. Absolutely insane engine in this deck. Now, other gate-specific cards in the deck, we have 3 Gates Ablaze. X damage to each creature, where X is the number of gates you control. Really good against the aggro decks. This deck is definitely slower because most of your lands come in tapped, which is a price to pay, but Gates Ablaze really helps mitigate that difference. 2 Gateway Sneaks, just an extra little card draw for whenever we don't have the Guild Summit out. Whenever it enters the battlefield, or whenever a gate enters the battlefield, this card can't be blocked. And it's a little 1/3 for 3, but if it deals combat damage to a player, we draw a card. So kind of actually plays out really similarly to the Guildgate, where it effectively turns playing a land into a card draw unless we have to block. And that is all for... Oh, and we have 3 Open the Gates to search our library for a basic land or gate card, reveal it, and put it under our hand. It just draws us a gate, which is, funny enough, actually good enough to run in this deck. So we have 3 of those. Now, the non-gate cards that we have specifically, 4 Arboreal Grazer, absolutely amazing 1-drop if we do hit one of our 4 forest. Those are the only 4 basics, and even playing it on turn 2 to put in a 3rd gate to play the Gatebreaker on turn 3 is really good. So 4 Arboreal Grazer, really, really good, important to the deck. 1 Despark for removal, that's where the black and white comes in. You could honestly swap this out if you really wanted to, but it does play pretty nice. But you could run any removal spell here, but I like the Despark. 4 Growth Spiral, once again, very similar thought. We are playing the green, blue, and red base, so we get the Growth Spiral on turn 3 quite often, but it just puts another land into play, draws us a card, very good. And the 2 Courier's Briefcase are in here for those rare instances where you don't hit the colors you need. And also, it turns 5 mana into drawing 3 cards. So that's the main thing we want to do. And sometimes playing this turn 2 or turn 3 and getting that 1/1 as a blocker is quite nice. And then lastly, at the top end, Escape to the Wilds is a perfect synergy. We get to exile the top 5 cards of our library, so it's effectively drawing us 5 cards. And you can play any cards exiled until the end of your next turn, and you get to play an additional land, usually out of that pile. So that is the entire list. For a budget list, it has 2 Escape to the Wilds at rare, and then it has 1 Despark at rare. I do think Escape to the Wilds is pretty essential to the deck, but Despark could be filtered out to something else. So other than that, it is 2 rares in the entire deck. Everything else, your main combo pieces are uncommons, and all of your gates are common. This is extremely budget friendly and puts in a lot more work than you expect. So without me getting on anymore, I do have one request. If you do enjoy this video at some point and you realize you might be interested in more Explorer content, we only play Explorer on this channel, please consider subscribing. I am trying to grow the channel to 500 subscribers so I can turn on that community tab and get more engaged with the people that are following me. But without any further ado, let's jump into some games and show you what Gates Tribal can do in Explorer. Okay, taking a look at this opening hand, this is a really, really good opener. We can go turn 1 Grazer off the forest, slap down an extra gate, and then turn 2, we get to play another Guildgate and then guarantee the turn 3 Gatebreaker Ram. So this is quite a nice start. We're absolutely keeping this hand. And then if we would happen to get into any kind of insane trouble, we definitely also have that Gates Ablaze as a backup. So let's get down this Grazer. Either one of these gates would be totally fine since we already have that green source. We'll go ahead and take red just in case we want to play that Gates Ablaze. And then we are going to have a turn 3 Gatebreaker Ram. Now, even though it's a 3-drop, it normally can't come down until turn 4 because of all the tap lands. So we'll put down the Guildgate here. We're totally expecting that. This is fine. We will go ahead and open the gates, get ourselves another gate. And since we're fixing our colors, we'll go ahead and look for a white-black gate just to get all of our lands. We're going to go and take that Guildgate right there, and now we are doing fine. I am feeling quite good about this, and I am ready to roll. Following this up with a Guild Summit is going to be excellent, excellent, excellent. It's going to guarantee us to draw at least one card. So we'll go ahead and put down the Ram. They could have a kill spell here, which would be sad, but between the Guild Summit and the Gates Ablaze, I feel like there's a really solid chance we can stabilize, even if they are able to get rid of this Gatebreaker Ram here with this 2 mana that they're holding up. So already you see how good the Ram is. It's going to come down as a 4/4 on turn 4, Vigilance and Trample, and only grows from here. 5/5 on turn 4. Very, very good. Or on turn 3 even, because we ramped. So turn 3, 5/5, Vigilance, Trample. That seems pretty good for an uncommon to me. Look at this guy crashing through. They do have the Gavany Trapper, which actually is pretty annoying. So we will have to consider hitting it with the Gates Ablaze next turn, just so we can start dealing damage, but we'll see what they do. All right. A good smart combo there, getting rid of that. I think the play will be to go for the Guild Summit. And I think we'll play this so that we can pay an extra 2. We'll tap right here, and then we're going to get to draw 2. And then next turn we can put down the Plaza and draw some lands. So we will tap 1, tap 2. Excellent. That is totally fine. Playing a tempo play, I think we're looking all right. Now, they could have some threats here. It looks like they are maybe tap your creature's tribal. That could be an interesting build that I've never seen before. We are on the rank ladder, but we're still in Platinum, so we see some interesting things. All right. Exiles 2 from our hand. We're certainly keeping Gates Ablaze, and I think having one of these draw card is better. So the Gateway Plaza is a little awkward needing to pay, and the Briefcase, I think, is not going to do us as much work as just playing a gate and then drawing a card. So we're definitely hoping to draw into some sort of play that will do some work for us here, but if not, we're probably, well, since I have 2 Gates Ablaze now, I was going to say we hold on to one, but since we have this, I think let's just get rid of that Trapper. I'm guessing it's kind of essential to what they're doing. If I would have only had 1, I think I would have held on to it to get at least a 2-for-1. But since we have an extra one in hand, I was willing to go ahead and play it and force them to put some work into play. Now, the Hive of the Eye Tyrant is going to be a little bit tricky for us if we don't draw into some sort of threat, but it is pretty inevitable here. I think it's smart to play this first just to see what our options are, and then we can always follow it up with an Escape to the Wilds for a second gate. I think this is a great play here. I do think this will be quite nice for us. We'll go ahead and play that second gate. Not really too worried about colors at this point, and the next turn we're going to get a huge free, almost free Gate Colossus and another big Guild Summit to follow it up. So that's a really good Escape to the Wilds for us. Icing Death. I do love this card, but I don't think it's very good. So it's Flying Vigilance 4/3. When it dies, they get to make the sword that taps things. So this is definitely tap your stuff tribal. So we'll put in our exiled gate, draw a card. Is it worth Gates Ablaze? I definitely think it's worth the Gates Ablaze here. We'll get the 2-for-1. They get to make their sword, but that's fine. We can do Ram Plus, we can then play Growth Spiral to put in another land, and then that leads straight into... Now here, or is it better to go Guild Summit, I think. I think we go Guild Summit. Yeah, we'll just spend all of these cards out of our exile zone because we can. So we're going to go Guild Summit, auto pay. And then we're going to hit 0. But then we're going to put down a Gate Colossus. A nice 8/8, and then we're going to play this just to get our maximum value out of there. Any gate at this point is fine. Now every gate is drawing us 2. We've got an 8/8 that cannot be blocked by small things. I am feeling very nice. They've got 2 cards in hand. I think this is a great start kicking off the deck here. We do see they have Icing Death Frost Tongue, so their deck is interesting and unique, but it cannot compete with the power of gates. I do not think. So let's see. Shadow. Target player discards a card. Ooh, they did make us do that, but that's fine. We're going to get to put it right back on top. They're going to get rid of 1 Guild Summit, but luckily we have 2. That will be really nice having those 2, actually. Put in our gate. We will put this on top, and then it's a nice combo with the Guild Summit because then we get to just play it for free. Arboreal Grazer is great here because it lets us draw another card. Excellent. Another, let's go ahead and get the Gatebreaker Ram down now. And then let's get another Guild Summit down. Auto pay. And then I think we'll just go ahead and use these to draw 2 more. That is amazing. Good luck dealing with that. They're going to need a board wipe to come back from that. And even then, we get to put the Gate Colossus right back on top. Lifelink. Okay, they get to bring back the Icing Death guy, probably. That's fine. We can definitely handle that. No priest. Paid 6 to bring this back, so a fine rate, but I don't think we're too worried about it. Yeah, this is looking really good for us, in my opinion. See if they are willing to keep playing. They do get this, but they have to attack to tap things down. +2/+0. It's not really going to be enough, because all of our things are huge, huge, huge. So let's just draw a card first to make sure there's nothing here we want to play. Bunch of Growth Spirals coming, probably. Alright, now I think we're ready to start attacking and see what they want to do. They cannot even double block with the Null Priest because this cannot be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. So they can't even do a 2-for-1 here. They just have to sack things to our massive creatures if they want to do that. And that'll be game if they do not block. So they have to block. So I feel like we've got them. It's only a matter of time at this point. Okay, they're willing to give us Icing Death for free. And then we can trample over for 10, even if they block with that. So that's great. We will definitely take that. That is a legendary equipment, so they do not get 2 of them. So that's no big deal. Now let's go ahead and just Growth Spiral a couple times just for fun. Sure, we'll put that in. And we'll just hold on to another Ram because I don't think they're going to be able to do much to us anyway. And just in case they would have a board wipe, we'll have another backup plan with Ram number 3 coming in behind the board wipe if they do draw it off the top. Okay, bringing back the Icing Death again, plus... And that's only to hand, so they can't even play both of them. I think we're fine here. Don't see how they get around another Gatebreaker Ram attack, to be perfectly honest. Okay, they choose the Griff Rider. That is definitely not enough to handle it. We'll go ahead and put down as many lands as possible. There's game 1. A nice showing for the deck. Let's keep going. Okay, after the 1-0 start, let's think about this. Once again, we could go into an Arboreal Grazer. But at that point... we don't have a lot. We're relying on top decking a blue source for the Growth Spiral. I think we have to mulligan this hand. 4 gates plus a Grazer. I really don't think going to 5 is our best option. So even though this isn't a great hand, I think we're going to risk it. Briefcase will at least get us a blocker, plus the Grazer can be a blocker. And with the Briefcase, we're guaranteed we have 5 total mana to eventually escape to the wilds. Except we have to get rid of 1 thing, so that's unfortunate. So we're going to get rid of one of these Guildgates. I think this is okay, not great. We do need to draw into some kind of threat, though. Not ideal start, but we'll see if we can wiggle our way out. Guild Summit will help a lot. That is a fantastic draw here. This is also nice. Turn 2 Briefcase, I feel, turn 3 Guild Summit I feel pretty good about. As long as it doesn't get exiled, I think we can get out of here. Especially if we actually draw a gate would be fantastic here, because then we can put the summit down and then follow it up with the gate to guarantee that it at least cantrips. So that's pretty nice. It looks like they don't have any instant speed removal stuff, so that's good. Okay, I think we can stabilize here. Especially if this Guild Summit can stick around for a minute. White does have probably the most likely amount of removal to get rid of it. But if this gets to stick around, it's just such a massive engine. Okay, perfect. We see a lot of tap lands on their end as well. Let's draw just to make sure this is what we want to be doing. Ooh, okay, there's 2 options. At black-white, they probably have removal. But it also... black has a lot of removal conditional on size. So I think we're going to play the Gate Colossus now, just in case they have like an Eliminate that could hit the Ram, but not the Colossus. I think this puts slightly more pressure on, potentially. So we're going to go with the Colossus for now. Next turn we can turn on that Escape to Wilds or put down the Ram. So we've got some options. Ram plus Briefcase is also probably pretty decent. We've got every color representative except black to turn the Briefcase into 3 cards. That's fine. We don't mind that. So Mardu, I'm smelling maybe Greasefang. We do not have a super good matchup against Greasefang just because we don't really have instant speed removal. So we probably need to really, really race here. Let's start with our combat, see if they're willing to trade. Yeah, that makes sense. They probably want to trade because they are probably playing Greasefang, in which case this is just a race. So I think we play as aggressive as possible. I think that's the play here. And then we'll just hold on to a Growth Spiral, I guess. At least hold up mana so they at least have to think about not playing the Greasefang. If they dump a Parhelion in the yard right now, we might just lose. There's the Parhelion, and I'm guessing Greasefang is coming. So this deck does struggle against combo decks like this just because you don't have much interaction. So if they have the Greasefang, it's going to be really tough. We don't necessarily lose immediately because we do have these big blockers, or attackers, I mean. Okay, that's a good sign. They still have 3 mana, could just be holding on to Greasefang, playing it second to try to bait out something. Okay, that we can definitely handle. That we can definitely handle. We'd love to see another gate here. That's fine. That'll draw us a gate, which will draw us another card. Now, do we just escape to the wilds and draw 2 gates, put down 2 gates, make this bigger for more damage? Draw 2 cards? Or do we open the gates? I mean, either way, we don't get another creature down that can attack this turn. So let's do the Escape to Wilds play, try to make this a little bigger, squeeze out a little more damage. Only 1 gate in there, interestingly enough. That'll draw us a card. Okay. It's interesting. That's some options. We see all 3 of our combo pieces, so especially if they do not play a Greasefang next turn, we're going to be probably just getting the win, I would assume. We can't play this because you have to pay 1 when it comes in or sacrifice it. So we could have just played it for a cantrip, which actually might have been appropriate in this case. They're going to get to dig 3 cards deep looking for this Greasefang, counting the 2 cards from Mirror plus the top deck. Luckily, the whole combo does 13, so we're actually still might get our way, squeeze our way out of this. Okay, 4 cards deep this turn, looking for Greasefang. Do they have it? And can we win, even if they don't? We can make this 10-10, so they would have to block at least 1 Angel. It's going to be interesting. It's gonna get interesting for sure. Okay. Jake is digital. Good luck to you. Do you have the Grease Fang? I think they would have played it right away if they had it, right? So I think we're going to weasel our way by. Okay, that's a card.
Try.
As long as it's your turn, creatures and planeswalkers draw have lifelink. It can deal one target to player or planeswalker. Or you can revive a creature. No Grease Fangs in the yard to revive. Turns the Blood Tithe Harvester, good blocker for Colossus. That is smart, buying themselves time. Plus they can gain 2 if they swing in that, but they'll probably want to protect it as a blocker. But it only gets the lifelink on their turn. Interesting choice. We get to eat this for free. But they gained 2, but they lost a... Well, I guess it wasn't really a blocker. Because it could only block the Ram, which has trample. So that's probably a smart play by them, and they get their treasure. Okay. I think they're playing smart. They can draw again, get another card deep. Okay. We've got some choices here. I guess we first try to buff up the Ram. There's no way we need... I mean, the main way to do that would be to draw cards that put extra gates into play. So, I guess first, I would probably want to play a second Ram. Let's get one more gate into play. We'll draw our card, see what that does for us. Growth Spiral can put another land in. This would have to get to 14, which we're not going to do this turn. So we'll go ahead and do this. And then, I guess, hold up a growth... No, we'll play the Colossus after that. We'll play the Colossus for 1, save it out of here. And then just see if they have... Even if they have the combo, we might have enough on board that they can't handle it. We're definitely going for face here. We don't really care what else you have. Excellent. We might just have enough damage that their 13 off of a Grease Fang combo isn't enough anyway. Because we're going to have a lot coming down at them. So this is pretty impressive showing of the deck. Obviously, Grease Fang, if it would have pulled the combo early, probably turn 5 or before, we couldn't beat it. But get to turn like 7 or 8 or whatever this is, and they're in real trouble. Okay, that's fine. I think we've got enough that doesn't really matter too much. And then we'll just go get a gate for free. Doesn't really matter which one. Excellent. I think we're alright. Because they'll have 2 4/4 blockers left over. Plus this 2/2 blocker, which I don't think is enough to soak up all of this damage at 3. I don't think it's enough. I think even if they pull off the combo, we're okay. I really do. And there it is. 2-0. Let's keep going. Okay. Another interesting one. 4 lands. We have white, blue, red, black, green. So we have every color. Plus a Ram, plus a Growth Spiral. I think that is enough to keep. This will be a slow start for sure. We'll be sure to get down green and blue to Growth Spiral turn 3. And then turn 4 Ram. So that's going to be awkward, but as long as they're not playing super fast aggro, should be okay. That's a lot of pop coming. It's a great start. I'll put down blue, turn on this, turn 3. Okay, Golgari Guildgate's fine. That's fine. That's going to feel probably pretty good. Especially if they play another creature, or especially if they double creature, we'll Gates Ablaze for sure. But we'll see what they're trying to do. Ooh, we won't even hit it with that. Well, yeah, we will. Okay. Okay. Let's see. We'll put this in, and then we'll think about it. 2/4, Adeline. Vigilance. Its power is equal to the number of creatures. Whenever you attack, for each opponent, create a 1/1 that's tapped and attacking. Sure. Do your thing. Now, the question is, when is it correct to Gates Ablaze? I think the Gatebreaker Ram gets around our own Gates Ablaze no matter what, because it's always going to have 2 more health than the Gates Ablaze. I think I'm willing to let them draw 1 more creature before we Gates Ablaze, and we put down the Ram now, and then we destroy the board next turn and kill everything. I think we're willing to do that. Plus, Gatebreaker Ram is a pretty sick blocker here. So we put them in a pretty uncomfortable position. I'm hoping they just play a creature or 2, and then we Gates Ablaze and just run away with this game. That's what I'm hoping for. Adeline is a very cool card. Very good for humans. That's a card. What does this do? Haste at the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. And then we have to do the same. I think this deck runs the combo where you get locked out. Okay, that's interesting. I think they're just doing that for all of these creatures. Yeah, this will be totally fine. We're going to get a lovely little 3-for-1 here. Plus get our second Gatebreaker Ram down. This is pretty fantastic. And now I think we're feeling wonderful. Escape to the Wilds next turn, or even a Gateway Sneak followed up with something else is going to be pretty great. There we go, 3-0. Let's get at least 1 more. I'm feeling good. We're going to keep rolling. Okay, once again, I think I'm willing to keep this hand. And our play will be, you're able to keep a lot of hands with this deck. The play will be turn 2, open the gates after we play a Selesnya Guildgate into a Simic Guildgate. So then we can go find our red in case we need the Gates Ablaze, or we can turn 4 Guild Summit, either way, or even turn 3 Guild Summit will also be fine. So once again, we're looking out for aggro, but even aggro will suffer against the Gates Ablaze. So we get to put down our, let's see, what would be ideal? I guess a blue and red source would be even better, but we already have blue here in case we need it. I think I might still want to go get a blue and red source for that modality to let me go into either of these. So I'm going to go look for that Izzet Guildgate. And the reason is because we have these forests that can come in untapped, that allows me to have the option on turn 3 with blue and red to play Gates Ablaze or Guild Summit. So I do want that option because I just like that modality. And now Gatebreaker Ram might be the way to go. We'll see. 3 mana could get countered. Whatever we have could get countered. But that's always a risk you run. They're not doing anything. But we also have 2 untapped lands. Let's start making plays. Let's start getting rid of those threats. I think we'll just go Guild Summit since we've got 2 of them. And I feel like it's going to get countered. But if they don't counter it, that's fine. We'll just start drawing cards. Okay, excellent. We will draw some cards from here on out. That's lovely. Totally fine with me. Let's see, with Magnum Opus, they could be playing like an Arcane Bombardment deck, I guess. Sure, Prismari Command. Okay, this only gets artifacts, not enchantments, so we're safe there. Sacred Fire. Okay. That won't bother us. Ooh, Young Peasy. Gates Ablaze is going to be fantastic. So, let's... Do these have flying? Those are not flying. Alright, put this down for sure. Draw a card. And then I think I want to go Gatebreaker Ram, start putting some threats on board. And then once they start to make enough elementals to make me nervous, then we just play a simple Gates Ablaze for great value. Next turn, we probably go Guild Summit and then double draw over Escape to the Wilds, I think. And if they tap out, I'm actually willing to play the Gates Ablaze just to make sure it doesn't get countered. Definitely feels like a deck that's going to have some counter spells in it. So I'm probably just going to play the Gates Ablaze whenever we get an opportunity where I'm not too worried about a counterspell. So if they're willing to tap out, we'll do the Gates Ablaze thing. But if not, we will just double Guild Summit. Wow. Yeah, that's a play. Okay, sure. That might change my mind. It's an interesting choice. They've only got 1 card in hand and 1 mana up. I think we Gates Ablaze. Excellent. I think we're going to come back way faster than they are, especially when next turn we start drawing 2 a turn. And they've only got 2 in hand. I think we just go with that play right there. I think that's the way to go. We can definitely play the long game. Ooh, do we play a Gate Colossus now? Play it for 3 and 3. I think we actually do this. 3. Oh, it's 3 and 4 because I put a forest in. Well, that was a little silly. Let's put the Gate Colossus down. It gets to come back even if they counter it. Let's put the threat on board. It's fine. We'll start drawing more cards next turn. I kind of wasted that play with the forest, but I think we'll play around it. I was thinking, because I just got mixed up. I was thinking playing a land reduces it, but I had to put the gate in, which would have made us still only have 2 mana, so it kind of netted out all the same. I think we'll be all right about it. Okay, they're just digging for another Pyromancer here. They could steal the Gate Colossus, which would be pretty sad. Let's see, auto pay. And we're going to draw 2 when we play a land, so I think we're digging for a Gatebreaker. I think we don't need to pay any extra here. I think we're willing to look for a Gatebreaker. And we find it. Okay, we get a little lucky. That's always nice. They could have some bounce or something. So let's see. Lovely. And then see if this hits. Okay, we're in a good position. We're in another good position here. Okay, lovely. Let's draw 2 cards. Feels like they've got something for us if they're holding on this long. But I guess let's go ahead and see what they have. We've got 16 on board. Feels like they've got a play. Okay, they do not. Well, let's go ahead and get one more game, make it a nice odd 5 games, and see if we can't go 5-0. Okay, we can go turn 2 Growth Spiral, set up the Ram. I think this is totally fine. Would love to find a red mana just to turn on these 2. But I think having these 2 in hand, I'm willing to take that risk for. We've got a lot of red sources in the deck, so we have a strong chance to draw it. I think we go for it. Being able to play the Growth Spiral turn 2 with the Forest coming in untapped to put this down, letting us play an actual turn 3 Ram. Once again, very nice start. Puts on quite a bit of pressure to have that 5-5 down. In this case, it'll be a 4-4 because one of them is a Forest. But getting that 4-4 turn 3, that puts on quite a good amount of pressure. It really forces a response from them. Ooh. Thoughtseize. We have not seen Thoughtseize against this deck. That could actually hurt quite a bit. Our opponent is very smart to play that. Luckily, we get to go ahead and put down a 3rd. Doesn't really ramp us unless we draw another card. But we get to go ahead and put down our Gatebreaker Ram. Now, if they Thoughtseize again and hit the Ram while we have no red sources, we are really, really, really at their mercy. Okay, got a little bit lucky there. We're at least going to get to put our cards down. I think Ram makes more sense, especially since we don't even have any gates in hand to do anything with. But if we would have had another gate in hand, I would have considered the Summit to get that card draw rolling. A little bit awkward, but as long as we can get even one more gate and start digging ourselves out, I think we'll be okay. We'll see what removal they might have for the Ram. They could have Eliminates. They could have Heartless Axe. Ooh, they could have damage. We're going to take 3. Not afraid of 3 damage at this point. Just in case they're running the red damage spells, like a Shock or something. We're not willing to risk our Gatebreaker Ram that way just yet. Okay, I would love to see a gate here. That would be fantastic. I'm feeling Rakdos Sacrifice. We'll go ahead and put down the Summit. Set up some stuff. We did see the Fatal Push, makes sense. I'm feeling just straight Rakdos Sacrifice and not a Greasefang deck. I think we would have seen a white source by now. We could see Ob Nixilis come down, though. It's fine. We'll take another 3 for the moment. Trespasser is good. Luckily, we don't really need our graveyard. We don't bring anything back. Would love to just draw a nice, lovely little gate right now. Start drawing us some cards. But the Ram is pretty good here. We're going to go ahead and block and make them play that shock if they've got it. And I am willing to stop as much damage as possible now. We'll make them play their cards if they've got them. Yep, Bone Crusher, sure. We'll still take the trade. We're just trying to buy time at this point. Okay. Ooh. I think we have to get rid of Escape the Wilds because we're not in a position to play it right now. These other 2 cards are playable. Okay. I think we have to play this over the Spiral because it's a blocker. They are going to be able to play the Kroxa if we block this. Okay, what's the play? If we block this, we turn on Kroxa as long as they have black, black, red, red. I think we take damage for now because 1 more card in the grave turns on Kroxa. I think we wait for that to happen as long as possible because right now a 6/6 is a huge problem. Okay, toughest matchup of the day, Game 5. Trying to keep it 100%. But struggling by missing lands. That'll always get you, especially in a landfall deck. So, see if we can worm our way out. Okay. This could be the way. Alright. Let's put in another chump blocker. Just like so. The Briefcase can be sacked for red. That's huge. That's huge. Alright, let's chill right here. I think I let them turn on Kroxa now. Because Ram's going to be big enough to deal with it. Okay. Yep, that's just going to happen. Nothing we can do about that. They get to bring in... They can't bring in Kroxa this turn, though. Because they paid too much mana. Okay. Now the question is, do we Growth Spiral? I think we wait and we have to Gates Ablaze. Ooh, this is going to be a tough one because Kroxa is going to do a lot of work too. We kind of might just take the L just from simple RNG, not drawing those lands. It's pretty tough. I think we hold on to this for red. We do this. Gonna deal 3. Perfect. Now their Kroxa's on. Let's go ahead and just draw a card so we can get lots of time to think about what we're discarding. Probably draw... Ooh, and if we draw a gate... I guess we put it down to draw another card. Would be fine. Love to see a gate here. Yes, we'll put that into play to draw another card. Thank you. Would actually love to see any land here to discard for free. Would be kind of fun. Or a Colossus would really save us. Hitting the Colossus could dig us out of this. Hey, there's the Colossus. As long as they don't make us double discard somehow, which I don't really see how they could do, because they're going to want to play Kroxa, which and then we discard the Guildgate and then we play our 8/8. Ooh, they actually choose Bone Crusher. Well, that is interesting. We still definitely play the Colossus, though. But now they can make us discard again. We do not have black for the Despark, which would not hit the Kroxa anyway. So Despark, we can just discard. That is fine. So we have to get rid of the Despark because it's not helpful anyway. We are so close to losing here. That is a real tragedy. This is at least a blocker, though. And then we get to turn this into double draw potentially next turn. We get to draw 1 extra card. Okay. Sure. Let's draw 2 cards. Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay. This is going to come right down to it. Right down to it. It gets to guarantee how much? 3 damage, because we can't discard a non-land right now. So he gets to guarantee 3 damage if he swings in, but then we get to kill Kroxa. Unless they destroy the Colossus right now. Even destroying the Grazer would win them the game. Ooh, wow. Okay. Well then, let's put in the every color gate. Draw some cards. Would love an Escape to the Wilds right now. Or another Grazer could be good too. Start refilling our hand. Whew. Oh, my heart is beating. I am nervous for this one. I kind of feel like we're so close to stabilizing, but we're also so close to dying. Gateway Sneak's pretty good here, I think. We'll auto pay. So here's the dilemma. I think we still, if we don't put down Sneak, if they do attack with Kroxa, they get to deal damage. But if we don't put down the Sneak and they kill the Grazer, they get to attack with both and guarantee that one of them gets through. Now, they don't know we have triple land in hand. So that is our one saving grace, is that they don't know that they have to force, they can't count on the Kroxa damage at this point. Ooh, Din is a problem, though. Ooh, okay. Here we have it. So they get to guarantee some damage. Whoa, is that just the game? We block all the biggest stuff. Wow, we're going to live on 1. And wow, okay. I'm not even sure what we have to draw. I guess like a Gates Ablaze. But even that doesn't win us the game. Okay. Hail Mary. And we're out of mana, so they're gonna get us. Wow, that was a wild game. I did have fun. So 4-1 on the day, absolutely crazy. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, and if you consider playing this deck, let me know how you like it. Thank you for joining me for another fun one. I'll see you guys in the next one.